Dear Chartered Accountants, working professionals, and students in the domains of Indian auditing, accounting, and the tax and regulatory space, welcome to podcast of Fca Deepak Rao, a practicing Chartered Accountant.
Daily news and updates for 14th December 2023. The Accounting Standards Board or IASB of ICAI, with the aim to provide an opportunity to the various stakeholders in India to raise their concerns at the initial international standard setting stage itself, invites comments on the consultative documents issued by the IASB or International Accounting Standards Board. Recently, the IASB has issued the following exposure draft for public comments. Exposure draft on financial instruments with characteristics of equity, proposed amendments to IAS 32, IFRS 7 and IAS 1. In view of challenges in classifying complex financial instruments that combine some characteristics of both debt or financial liabilities and ordinary shares or equity instruments, the proposals in the exposure draft include the following. Number 1. Clarification of the underlying classification principles of IAS 32 to help companies distinguish between financial liabilities and equity. Number 2. Disclosures to further explain complexities around instruments that have both financial liability and equity characteristics. And number 3. Presentation requirements for amounts including profit and total comprehensive income attributable to ordinary shareholders separately from amounts attributable to other holders of equity instruments. The above mentioned exposure draft issued by the IASB is open for public comments with last date as February 10, 2024. In June 2023, SEBI mandated AIFs to dematerialize units within a specified time frame. SEBI has now provided guidelines for dematerializing or crediting units in cases where investors haven't provided demat account details. As per the said circular, the AIF managers shall continue to reach out to existing investors to obtain their demat account details and credit the units issued to them to the respective demat accounts. In this regard, AIF industry and depositories shall adopt implementation standards as formulated by the Pilot Standard Setting Forum for AIFs or SFAs, along with the two depositories in consultation with SEBI. The Federal Reserve held interest rates steady for a third meeting and gave its clearest signal yet that its aggressive hiking campaign is finished by forecasting a series of cuts next year. Officials decided unanimously to leave the target range for the benchmark federal funds rate at 5.25% to 5.5%, the highest since 2001. Policymakers penciled in no further interest rate hikes in their projections for the first time since March 2021 based on the median estimate. Presently, there is no proposal either to provide exemption from local value addition cost or to provide subsidy on import duty on import of electric vehicles in India as per statement of Minister of State for Commerce and Industry Som Prakash. Team Australia may have triumphed in the ICC Men's Cricket World Cup last month, but the Indian economy emerged as a winner as well, with local businesses such as restaurants registering up to 400% increase in spending by foreign tourists during the tournament. The centre has asked state-run banks to focus on the capacity building of their key executives and specialized senior officials, including chief technology officers and chief revenue officers. It is keen that the top brass of public sector banks is geared up to handle fast-changing market dynamics and technological outgrowth.
This podcast is sponsored by Sound of CA. We share because we care. Vande Mataram, Jai Hind.